Hello, friends, and welcome back to Group Tarot, where on the 10th of the month at 11 a.m. Pacific, go live with different conversations between tarot readers, creators, and today the conversation is going to be a little different, and I gave very little heads up about it and about today's conversation or the content because I didn't know myself. Followers of the channel know that, excuse me, know that I have accepted an offer to join the 2025 cohort of Linklater Voice Teacher Practitioners at Rose Bruford College in London. And as such, I'm not allowed to be self-employed. So I am figuring out right now how to put my business on pause, what I can do, what I can't do, because even before times as they are, I would not have wanted to jeopardize my visa, but especially now in the times that I at least am living in as a person with certainly many white cis femme privileges in Turtle Island, US. You know, am also a queer witch and want to make sure that I cross those T's and dot those I's for my studies. Um, and so consequently, one of the things that I have to do, and that anybody who has to move locations for whatever reason, is pack. And there's only so much space in the suitcases. And I don't know yet where I will be living. And so I don't know how much space I have to fill. Gratefully, I know that I can leave things at my home base. And so I don't have to think about getting rid of or keeping everything that I own. So already that helps calm that part of the brain. And so, what I am going to do today with y'all is I have grabbed one of my things of tarot because I have many. Um, and we're gonna go through and see which ones want to stay and which ones want to go. And I'm just gonna talk you through my mental processing around why I am making the choices that I'm making. And hopefully this can help you in your downsizing or right sizing future adventures. So, first, I am going to kick off my slippers so that I can be barefooted. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to center. And I am going to do that for myself today by placing a hand on my heart, by placing my feet on the ground, by placing my left hand on my left thigh, because that line from left foot up to my head That is the pathway between passion and sex in the reclaiming Iron Pentacle. So that is a line that I want to be extra keyed into between love and wisdom of the Pearl Pentacle. Opening up the energy centers on the bottoms of my feet. Thinking my moves are supported. Continuing with these good clearing breaths. With that hand on my heart, I'm going to bring my other hand up to join it, and then open my hands out into the world, thinking I lead with love. And I'm going to do that gesture a second time. I lead with love. And a third time, I lead with love. Letting my hands rest gently back on my thighs and bringing my attention up to the top of my head, my crown chakra. I am connected to the divine. I am connected to the divine. And bringing, because I'm seated, bringing my connection and awareness to my pelvis and my sits bones, taking a moment to pull the flesh away from my sits bones to give me a more solid and centered seat. And the mantra that's coming up is I sit in knowing. I sit in knowing. I sit in knowing. And what comes up for you may be different due to your body position, due to your needs, due to your spiritual practices, or lack thereof. No shade. And now I'm going to come to the decks. And the first two decks that I have pulled out are decks that will be familiar to anyone who has attended the Tarot show, because these are the decks that I use for the audience. And I can't imagine that I will be sharing that my first months in school. Certainly not as any sort of paid or work anything. However, I do, in alignment with my visa, do plan to go to the Edinburgh Fringe summer 2026 with the Tarot show. And while I am currently planning on coming back to the US Turtle Island for winter break, who knows how things may change. So First, from the Morgan Greer Tarot, not first off, actually, neither of these decks screamed out yes or no, asking when I mentally asked the question, "Do you want to come to England with me for the fall?" Both of them just have still, quiet energy. And so, first thing that I notice is that one of the cards left at the bottom of the tin, I do love these tins regardless. At the bottom of the tin is the Three of Wands. So that invites me to think about my mission, vision, values with these. And so that's one piece. They are certainly, it feels very much, especially like because this deck was kept in the tin that the cards live in, it feels like they are very much looking towards other places and other lands, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a yes right now. I also might not get a clear yes or no right now. And that's also okay. I can put these on the maybe. So, ooh, so the card that comes up when I intentionally and blindly pulled for do you want to stay or do you want to go is the Nine of Cups, which is the Secret Garden card, which is the card that I say all the time has walls around it. And those walls always have doors, so you may leave or come back. So if there was any card that was the like, take me or leave me, you'll be great with me, you'll be great without me, it's going to be fine either way, it's this card. Hilarious. Um, so that is a if I have space, sure, I'll toss it in. If I don't have space, I won't. And that'll be absolutely okay. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the other deck, the inversion tarot that I use. This deck all came out of its tin, just the little booklet remained. And when I pull from you, do you want to stay or go? Ten of Wands. So this is one of the cards. The art is adorable. I completely agree. I completely agree with you. The Morgan Greer deck is very sweet artwork. It's very white Eurocentric. So it's not a deck that I use for a lot of like readings, but it's great for the audience participation version of the tarot show because everybody has to get a card and one that has like clear visuals, especially for anybody who might be a little visually impaired. I don't have any decks that have Braille on them, and I presume they exist, but I've never seen one. If anybody knows of a good deck that has Braille on it, please let me know in the comments. Inversion Tarot gives us the Ten of Wands. And this is the card of girl with the weight of the world on her back. It is the end. It is an end. It is an end of work. And so that is very much like lay your burdens down. So I am going to take that to heart, and especially as both of these decks work together with a very specific purpose, those decks will not be joining me in September. So next, and if you have if anybody has any questions, LMRS, anyone else watching or tuning in live or tuning in the chat, watching later, I do monitor and come back and chat and answer questions. So put them in there. All right. So in this deck, oh right. So this is Rebel. This is the Rebel Oracle. Do you want to go to England with me? Ooh, two. Watch out. Shit could get ugly. You are being shady. And you're a hot mess. Fact, clean yourself up. You look like a shit show. So, well then, that doesn't say a whole lot about whether or not this deck wants to go with me or stay put, but it does very much tell me that the cleaning up and the organizing that I am doing and the decision making process that I'm starting right now is absolutely good and vital and necessary, which I already knew. So, like, yay, a little bit of affirmation, confirmation. But so consequently, I'm going to put this in the maybe pile because one of the other things that I'm taking into account and that I take into account with all of my decks, and I invite you to do the same as well, especially for those of y'all who do have multiple decks, or if you are thinking about what kinds of decks you want to add to your personal collection, personal repertoire, is what voice they talk in. Jenna Matlin did a great video on tone in tarot readings and reading for tone. And part of that is also what decks are you using because every deck also has a different tone, has different artwork. And you know how when you have like questions and you want to toss ideas out to someone, I hope you have, like I have, a few different best friends and people whose counsel you really love and trust. Um, because there are the people that are like, yes, I very much want to talk to you about this question. And your decks are the same way. Um, So I am now getting into the bag that has decks that I love and adore and use on a very frequent basis. This Sovereign Oracle, along with the Artist Expansion Pack, this is an absolute yes. I I know how much I use it. I hold this deck in my hand and it just like feels glued to my right hand. And it's like, yes, I want to be your right hand deck. That is absolutely in the yes pile. The oh my little deck of my little deck of joy and shame. And I say that because this I bought this deck and uh created such a cute video that I was in fact going to release uh last month because it was a recorded video unboxing this deck. But when I unboxed it, I did not realize, and I think I realized over the course of filming the video. No, not over the course of filming it. It one of those things that I did last year with my brother of spirit, Richie. I got duped. This is a counterfeit deck, and I did not realize it. And I'm keeping the artwork and the title of the deck purposefully away from the camera because what I have here is not the legitimate deck. But it is also saying a yes to go with me because that I love the size. I love the artwork on it. It speaks really well. And it is an important teaching tool. Like, even people like me who know what to look for and did look can get duped. All right, so this one is my sacred. Ooh, so this one, my Tarot of the Sacred Sisterhood. I want to personally take this one with me to England, regardless, um, because it is also in French, and French is one of the languages that that I try to get better with. Ma français est mauvais, but I practice. I want my French to get better, so I want to keep this. I want to take that deck with me because it's useful doing tarot in another language. All right, tarot disassembled. Would you like to join me in London? Well, it says yes. Yes, of course I want to join you in London. Of course I want to travel. I'm a deck of yours. That also not surprising because anything that is mine, like I I like traveling. Um, are you so so the question isn't fully formed in my mind, but this card is the one that wants to come out. Six of Cups. Mm. So the thing in this card that is popping out most to me is the Red Riding Hood figure looking at the house, which very much looks like a school to me in this, especially the school that I'm going to be attending. And so what this card is saying to me is focus on your studies. Drink in your studies. I'm now looking at the how the mitten hand goes up towards the cup. Drink deep of my studies. So I am I'm gonna let this deck I'm going to take that as this deck saying I will distract you, focus on your studies, and leave this one here. Gentle Creature's Wisdom deck. This is an absolute yes because this is one of the decks that I come to all the time. And going back to tone and how I imagine I will want to be spoken to and with as my brain and body and psyche go back into school 20 years since the last time I was in any form of higher education as a student. That is a definite yes. All right. Let's see. Ooh. So this deck, I'm gonna see what the deck has to say. My inclination for Cirque de Tarot, Tarot de Carnaval by 78 artists is to leave this one here because this is one of my rarer decks. It's not in print anymore. I love her dearly, and if I was moving to if my framework for this conversation with my cards was, what do I take for a permanent move versus what do I take for fall term? The answer would be completely different. This would be a no-brainer in the yes pile because it's one of my rarer decks that I absolutely love and adore. But as I am planning on coming back, and I have a very fixed amount of space in my bags, and shipping or carrying on additional baggage is expensive. Another checked bag is gonna be $130. And that I have not looked into what it would cost to ship things overseas, but I imagine that is cheaper than what I would pay to ship an additional bag. So, given given all of that, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Ooh, Ace of Wands. So this is the beginning of fire, the beginning of heat. This is definitely a card that says yes. Yes, go for it. Yes, focus. Yes, shine that heart. Yes, transform all of those butterflies around the unicorn. And when I pulled it out, it was inverted. It may want to come for a different semester. That is yes, yes, absolutely. And hello, Key. I wondered if that was you. Uh, Thank you for having your garden and baby and my garden and my babies all be linked together. I love, love, love that. Um, and so because this and so this Ace of Wands also came out inverted, which means that I am taking that wand energy, that fire energy, and directing it back at me. And so it's like the deck is asking whether this deck will be a whether it will help focus my attention back to me, back to my studies, honing in on the fire and drive and desire that and intentions that I'm putting out in the world. And I don't have an answer to that question yet because sometimes the cards answer a question with a question, as my talk this year at StarCon 2025 was all about. So this is joining the Rebel Tarot and the Maybe pile. Next, ooh, this is Wise Fool Tarot by Cade Burkhammer. This is one of my always yes decks, and it still feels like an always yes. This, however, is a very clear no, because these are the cards that I give and hand out when I am doing business and networking events, and I'm not going to be doing those until 2027. So that's easy. These three little decks are also little bags are also easy no's because these were created. Um, I create one of the things that I love doing for groups and businesses and things like that are creating unique spreads for your event. And so this was a spread that I created for a win event a couple months ago where every if they wanted the special reading, could choose a W word, an I word, and an N word because it was a win event. So WIN. And then with these words, they then got to choose three cards for each word. And it was delightful. And somebody actually chose the WIN, Women in Networking, trans inclusive event. And we were both incredibly surprised because each of these bags has at least 10 different words in it. So, you can do the math for what the odds of that are. And that brings me to the end of this bag. The heavy things that are still in here are my crystals and things, and I'm not going to think about which of I wasn't, but my my little baggie spoke up really loudly, was like, "Oh no, you are taking me regardless." Yes, yes, I am. My selenite, not so sure about my beautiful amethyst. Phew! In the little box. Ooh, oh, that's right. I forgot I had some mini cards from the Tiny Tarot in here with the gift bags that I create for in real life uh, group tarot events. All right, the rest of those crystals will be dealt with at another time. All right, so coming into some of the next decks, and I'm just gonna pull out a pile here, check the time. All right. I don't know if we're going to get through this whole suitcase today because there are a lot. But oh, we'll do what we can. Okay. So I'm gonna try and speed this up a little bit because sometimes that has to happen. So I am going to ask these decks collectively, are there any decks that know they want to stay here, that know they want to stay put in Portland? Precious Gem says, I want to stay put. Fantastic. Any other decks that know they want to stay put? Oh, um, you are the spell oracle said, no, I definitely want to go. So thank you for that clarity. William Blake wants to stay put. Oh. So this is my Lua tarot. This is the deck. This is another one of my rare out of print decks. It's created by Marie Bento of Divine Muses. She has no plans currently on making another print, on printing another edition of this. This is a deck that I really want to know what it wants to do because it is also the deck that is being used to create rebels and priestesses. And one of the things I'm excited to do on my holidays in the UK are go to more of the places where Annie, Florence, Maud, and Moina were um, doing their work in the Golden Dawn. And so the part of me that's like, oh, you're one of my rarer decks. I want to keep you safe and I want to continue using you. What do you want? Ace of Swords. That clarity, that ability to cut, that ability to focus. It's almost like it's saying that if you leave me here, if you cut me off, you'll still be able to do your work. But if you keep me with you, it will be a tool of greater focus. And my eye keeps coming to the crown and of greater royalty and presence. So I'm going to take that as a yes. And yes, you will join me. Maybe I will shift and put this deck in my little carry bag that has my extra special decks in it. LP Oracle is feeling a clear no. Thank you for that. Ooh. Interestingly, like the decks that I pulled out initially, thinking I would go those first, like no, they're all quiet, and the and some of the other ones are like, no, I want to talk. And isn't that the way? Listen to the energy of your cards. So this is Nature Spirit Tarot, and I kind of, it's interesting, like having the Hermit here be the first thing talked about, that the first thing that the card wants to say is very much a reminder of the year that we are all on, this Hermit year. Everybody who follows the Gregorian calendar of 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5, 9, 9 is the Hermit. And key, like I love the artwork on this deck so much, and the artwork here is so sweet that I am going to take, I am definitely going to take you for the artwork, even if nothing else. And I am reminded of these I I created some magical mystery care packages for folks who ordered, and in compiling them, I found a big stack of small frames, like IKEA frames, and I have no idea where they came from, but I am now imagining how sweet it would be to frame some of these cards as artwork in my new flat, and that brings me much joy. So yes, so all of this to say, there is no one right way to make your decisions of what stays and what goes in any situation. Like lots of things will pop up. Clear body, yes, no. Clear imagination, yes, no. Completely unclear, or wait to make a decision until later, like yes. My watercolor deck, I am going to make a decision later because I don't know whether or not I I don't know if I have watercolors anymore, and I don't know whether or not I'm gonna wanna buy them when I'm in England, and I also like the idea of painting and doing something else to break up my studies, so that's gonna stay in the maybe pile. Field Garden to Dragons. This is a super cute and sweet deck that I love and adore, but I feel like it's like I'm okay to stay. And you may notice my like shift in body language for those that are watching because I said that, but then the card that came out as to whether or not it wants to stay or go is the pineapple dragon, is hospitality. And so what I'm feeling from this deck now is that what it would actually really like to do is to be the deck that people be the deck that's right there at the doorway, at the threshold of my new place, allowing people to be like, "Hey, pick a card." Um, for folk that have um, come to in real life events of mine, a lot of times, sometimes what I'll do is I'll set up something like this, um, or leave the little booklet out so it goes a little deeper, and have it set up so that if people just want to come by the table and choose a card and see what it right, a threshold deck. I think it is. I obviously Garden Dragons wants to be my threshold deck. I will not be a very stealthy witch having a threshold deck, and I am absolutely okay with that. um so yeah, this is something that I very much did not expect this aspect of my tarot decks also weaving themselves into my home decor and how I am imagining my new yet to be found and solidified home, and I'm all for it. Like, how what a delightful change and shift. Um, ooh, I don't remember which deck this is, but I already know that the wrap I do not want to take with. It is so slippery. Oh, this is the other uh, Cirque de Tarot. This is the Cirque de Tarot by 78 artists and Lisa Robertson. I have a conversation about this exact deck with Lisa on this channel because this deck has my very favorite Hierophant card to date. Deck, do you want to stay or go? Do you want to stay? Do you want to? Do you want? Do you? And I'm pausing because as I was shuffling and asking that question just didn't feel right. It wasn't, and the way I know that it didn't feel right was it wasn't the repetition of that question wasn't staying in my mind easily, wasn't staying on my voice easily. And so, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Ooh. Tarot readers frequently say that asking the question is frequently just as important because when I ask the question, "What do you want to do?" and get the 7 of Pentacles, this is the patience card. This is the wait. This is the, like, things are gonna bloom as they're gonna bloom sort of card. And um, how I don't remember the illustrator Lisa worked with off the top of my head for, this deck, but this is one of the cards in it that, uh, has always felt strange to me. It is not 7 of, Pentacles energy as I feel 7 of Pentacles energy, and what I'm really noticing in this card is the one person who is trying to jump for that one pentacle that, um, the ringmaster is dangling like a fish toy, and so that to me says a no for both because, um, what it is wrapped in is something that is a cloth. It's a beautiful cloth, don't get me wrong, but it is slippery, slippery silk, and so I do not read on it or with it, but as a lovely natural fiber, it's delightful for, it's fine and dandy for wrapping cards in, of course, and so, yep, that is going to be a that is a no, not right now, because it will potentially give me some conflicting messages and unaligned energies, which is not what I'm going for right now. Key, if you have any questions, or since you also happen to know many of my decks, if there is any of my decks that you want to make sure are talked about in these last few minutes, because even though I will not get to, all of the decks in my suitcase, I am going to hold to our pocket of time here as being an hour. So that gives another 10 minutes. And so get your questions or desires out now. Oracle of Initiation by Melissa Lucia, with whom I am one of the guest teachers in their current course for deep play, which I'm very delighted about. Ooh, luminescence. I went and chose the very first, very beginning card of this deck. Yes, that definitely feels the sign of yes to England, as well as it's a very unique deck, and thinking about having a nice array and a nice diversity of types of decks that I bring with me feels really important. And so I'm going to take a moment to divide my current yeses into tarot versus oracle. And so I have one, two, three, four, I have 5 oracle decks right now, and I have 5 tarot decks right now. And I know that my modern witch will be joining me because she is my heart favorite uh deck right now. I love my universal Waite Smith, but she's feeling like she wants to stay put. I'm not planning or intending to do any um, intentional mediumship work. So that is going to stay put. And then if I want to change that up because that deck wants to help with rebels and priestesses and Annie, Maud, Moina, like I'll revisit that at another time. Oh, I do have another one of these. I need to pass this on. um, so that will, knowing that I want to take Modern Witch with me, that will give me 6 tarot decks, and I do love me some balance. So I want to feel for that 6th oracle deck or something different. Right. This little deck, Folk Cards of Destiny, was a gift. And can it also be playing cards? I feel like this one could also be playing cards. How many does it have? 52? No. No, this is only a 36 card deck. A lovely birthday present from a friend of mine. Okay, so that helps answer that question. That is a no because I will not be focusing on learning a new system while I am there. This is another rare deck. And it does play so well. Yeah, oh, yeah. I was initially like a firm no, but it does play so well with um Luatera because they're all Divine Muses decks. The Muse of Hymns. Oh, so this is a deck that will help find my songs. And I'm going for voice work. So that is perfect. So all right. You will be joining, and that feels perfect and complete for now of 6 of each. And yeah, 6 of each. And the rest will stay here, be enjoyed in other ways and other times and other places. And thank you for joining on this journey through personal decision making with tarot and oracle cards and the body and space and time and how all of those messages and options come in and through with surprises and intention and liminalness on this full moon. Please give. We all live in some really uncertain times right now. And so it could seem frivolous to be talking about tarot and oracle decks when people are being detained and murdered and disappeared and self-care is part of the work. And for me, using the cards is a part of clarity. It is a part of self-care. It is a part of how I can help others. And it is not frivolous for me. It is very much a part of who I am and how I move in this world as a witch. And that may be different for you. And of course, that is welcome. So please do whatever it is that you can within your resources, your privileges, your place to help make and build this best new world, this beautiful, equitable, and ethical, sustainable world in a timely fashion. Because as things keep being torn down, we all need to also be rebuilding and building back up, building back better. Multiple lanes, multiple tactics. Yes. I don't know what your lane nor your tactic is, but tarot and oracle may help. I will not see you back here July 10th because I will be at Oregon Country Fair. If you want to get a reading with me or book a session or a group with me, do so before August 31st. Come August 31st, I will not be doing these offerings professionally as a business anymore, at least through graduation in 2027. So, have a beautiful day, friends. Thanks for watching.